Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you are all doing great. Today, I have quite a few things to talk to you about, and in the end of the video, I have something very sweet and precious to show you. Here we are, 1 week away from Christmas, and I'm asking myself, where did all the months go by, right? It seems like they passed by like water. I don't know if you've already done most of your Christmas shopping, but just in case you haven't and you're looking for something unique to make, maybe for somebody, I have a suggestion for you. I made this collar using one of my husband's old neckties. I bought this one at the Goodwill probably a little over a year ago. And my husband wore it for a while, but then he got tired of it and he gave it back to me. And I decided, there must be something I can make with this necktie because I happen to like the design on it. And I went on YouTube and I looked up tutorials on what to make with old neckties. And I found one where they were making things like this, and I decided to try my hand at it. Now it's very simple to make. All you do is you need a necktie. Now look, this is another one that I bought for my husband, and this did not come from the thrift store. I paid good money for this one. I bought it at Walmart, and I thought it was so beautiful when I saw it. I said, my husband's going to really like this necktie. Well, I shouldn't have been surprised because when I showed it to him, he's like, oh, it's okay. But he did wear it for a while, and then eventually he said, here, give it to the thrift store or give it to someone that might want it, because he never really cared for it. I couldn't understand why, because to me it's a beautiful design, and I decided to hold on to it, so I'm going to make another collar for myself using my husband's necktie. Like I said, it's very simple to make. All it is, and I really need a flat surface to show you properly, but you can go on YouTube and look up tutorials, all right? All you do is gather it. You keep gathering it. I'm not doing a very good job of this. You gather it, and you keep gathering it until you get the length that you want. Oh man, this is not good. So you keep gathering it until you get the length that you want, all right? Just like I did. Once you get the length that you want, you pin it in place as you're going along. And once you get the length that you want and you try it on and see if it works for you, then what you do is sew it up at the top. I did it by hand. And if you're going to sew it by hand, just make sure that the thread doesn't show. But you can also use a sewing machine, which I don't have. Now, some people, I have seen that they actually sew it in the center and they put like beads and things like that. But I decided for a first time just to keep it simple and see how it worked. So this is what I came up with. And all you do, see it's got Velcro. You can put Velcro, you can even use a safety pin. You can hold it in place using a brooch. And some of the tutorials suggest that you remove the tip like that. But I actually like keeping the tip at the end because then you have the full necktie. What do you think? All right, like I said, I didn't do a very good job of showing you how to actually make it. But like I said, you just gather it at the top and you keep gathering and gathering until you see that it's a length that you want, and then, like I said, as you go along, you pin it in place, and then you just sew it. Tell me what you think of my recycled necktie. There's so many things you can do with old neckties. I just hated to get rid of it, give it away, so I said, let me see how creative I can get with this necktie. All right, enough of that. I have a story I want to share with you. And then at the end, I'm going to show you also something, like I said, very precious. This is a story that's been told for many years. It's a story about a lighthouse keeper whose job was to keep the flame lit on the lighthouse. And every month he used to get a shipment of oil just for that purpose. Now this was a man that was very generous and kind, and he used to have a hard time saying no to his friends and neighbors. And his neighbors and his friends used to come, and they were always borrowing oil for different things. A farmer would come and borrow oil for his tractor. A neighbor would come and borrow oil for her lamps. And everybody knew that he was such a kind and generous person that he never said no. And eventually, the oil that he had that was meant for the lighthouse to keep it burning, he ran out. And because of it, the ships that were out in the ocean couldn't see the light, and some of them ended up crashing, and people ended up dying because of it. And when the authorities found out, they went to him and they said, your job was to make sure that you always had oil to keep the light burning. What happened? And when he explained to them that he couldn't say no to his friends and neighbors when they would come and borrow some from him, they were not too happy, and they ended up carting him away and putting him in jail. And I say that because the story, there's a moral there, all right. So many of us have a hard time saying no, right? We feel that, because we're a Christian, we should always be open and willing and say yes to everyone and everything. And because of that, some people end up running around, stretching themselves so thin that they end up burning out, and they end up resenting the things that God has sent them out to do, because they were so busy saying yes to everyone that they couldn't say no. And I knew somebody that was in that same situation. She was a church-going person, and she felt that as a Christian, you should never say no to people. And she was always running around at all hours of the day and night. Oh, somebody asked me to do this, someone asked me to do that. And she was always running around, so busy doing all kinds of things for different people. And her home life ended up suffering because of it. And she paid a very deep price for it, because she couldn't say no. And God doesn't expect you, in my opinion, all right, God doesn't expect you to be the answer to everyone's problems. He has not called us to solve every single problem that comes your way. Because maybe God is sending someone to do something, and if you jump in and do it for that person, you might be taking away that person's blessing away. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. We have to learn to say no sometimes, because people will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of your kindness and your inability to say no. Just like that lighthouse keeper, that he felt, oh, I can't say no. He ended up giving away all his oil that he should have been reserving to keep the light burning, and he didn't. I just thought I'd share that little story with you because, like I said, I've known too many people in that situation that they just don't know how to say no. And I've been in that situation sometimes too, in the past, no longer, all right, where I felt like I can't say no because I felt like maybe God would not be happy with me if I said no to somebody. But then I realized that by not saying no, maybe I was taking away somebody's blessing. Somebody was tasked to do something, and if you jump in and do it, then you are denying them that blessing. So think about that, all right? I just wanted to share that little story with you. Sometimes we need to say no and not feel bad about it, right? Like with my ministry, I would love to be able to feed all the homeless that come my way. But I'm not able to physically do it. And I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I stretch myself so thin doing so many different things for different people that my health ends up suffering because of it. And sometimes I've had to say, I'm sorry, I can't do what you're asking me to do. Mother Teresa once said, if you can't feed 100 people, at least feed one. So I try in my little corner of the world, all right, I try and do my best to do what I can. And I just have to leave it at that because, like I said, I can't do everything. And I have been taken advantage of many, many times by some homeless because in the past, I couldn't say no. I need money. Can you help me? I didn't have money of my own, yet I was digging into my savings account or checking account and giving these people money, and then I'd find out later that they were using it for drugs or liquor. So I've learned to say no and not feel bad about it. I do what God puts in my heart to do. I told you I had a little precious thing I wanted to show you. In one of my videos recently, I posted a request from you folks. I asked for inspirational cards to give to my homeless. I never thought that some of you would be touched by my message and you would actually do it. Well, you surprised me, all right? I have been getting some cards, and they're just so beautiful and so precious, and I want you to know that that means so much to me. I want to show you some of the little cards that I've been receiving. And like I said, I thank all of you so very, very much. This is just one of the ones that came in the mail. This is by one of my YouTube viewers. She handmade these. She's someone that makes these. And I just thought it was so beautiful. She sent me quite a few of them. And I just thought they were so precious and beautiful that she took the time to make little cards like this, inspirational cards for my homeless. And look what she did with the envelope. She did even something more precious. She put a little inspirational message there. I just thought that was so sweet. You know who you are, the one that sent this to me. And I thank you for that. And I even got some from overseas, all right? From the UK, I got this one. And it was so beautiful. And these are to give to my homeless. And not just the homeless, but people that might be needing an inspirational lift up. So she even wrote a little message on there. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I thought it was so beautiful and special. And this is from my sweet friend Wendy from the UK. I just thought it was so sweet. I thank you, Wendy. You're so sweet and precious that you took the time and that you were touched by my message in the video. And I even got some little cards for myself, all right? Look how beautiful and precious that is, that this was all handmade. It's got the little, and there's a nice message. I'm going to read it to you because it was so, so sweet. Hello, Graciela. I came across your YouTube channel and was really touched as to what you have created with your ministry. I wanted to help in some way, and I'm a card maker, and I thought you would like a sampling of cards to possibly spread the word of God, spread love and hope to inspire. Please let me know if you would like more, and I can send more throughout the coming year. Much love. God bless. Susie. I just thought it was so sweet. You have really touched my heart. I don't know these people, and chances are we'll never meet, right? But you saw my little YouTube channel, you saw my request, and the request was not for me, but for my homeless. Can you please send my homeless inspirational cards? Especially during this time of year, they need something to lift their spirits up. The holidays are always hard for the homeless. And you saw the video and God touched your heart and you send me these little cards. I received some more, but I'm just showing you a small amount of them. Oh, and one more thing. Look, you guys have really touched me. Somebody sent me this also, which I'll give to one of my homeless women. But I thought that was so beautiful and touching, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. My little videos, I never know who is going to be touched by them who's going to be inspired by them. And I've never seen my videos as being that great, right? It's just me talking, and sometimes clumsily, because sometimes my tongue gets tied, all right? I don't know what it is. I think Satan is involved there. And I just have these little messages that God puts in my heart, and I bring them forth and I post them on YouTube, hoping that someone will get some benefit from it, that someone out there will get touched, be inspired. And I thank you for that. And that means a lot to me, all right? And it also means a lot to me that you spend the time to come and watch my little videos. You could be doing something else, but you're here watching my little videos and commenting and helping us out with your donations. Those things mean so much to me. And I want you to know, Amazing Grace Empowerment Ministries, we're not a big ministry, all right? We don't have a big building. Nobody gets paid in this ministry. My husband has always said, Grace, you do it because it's a labor of love. And it's true. The benefit I get from it is seeing the faces of the homeless when I give them things to eat. Sometimes just a word of encouragement. That is my reward. And I know one day, when I make it to heaven, God willing, right, that God will swing the gates open and he'll say, welcome, my faithful servant. And I pray that one day I will finally get to meet you. All of you that help the ministry out, that I'll get to meet you. And that we'll be rejoicing in heaven. I'm like the weeping prophet, right? I'm always crying. My homeless always make me cry. Thank you again for stopping by and watching my little videos, watching the commercials. When you watch a commercial and you don't skip past it, you're helping me indirectly, my ministry, because I get a little pocket money eventually. And that means so much to me. Tell me what you thought about my necktie. Tell me what you thought about my little cards. They're just so sweet. I was just so blown away. When my husband came from work, I said, look what I got in the mail. And he was very impressed. He said, wow, that is so nice of the people to do that. The little story I shared with you, keep that in mind, all right? God did not create us to solve every world problem, all right? So don't spread yourself so thinly that you don't end up doing anything good because you're spread so thin. And that won't be useful to anyone. Don't go stealing somebody else's blessing. Learn to say no. God will not look down on you for that, all right? because he knows physically we can't. We can't solve every problem. We can't help everyone. There's just too many people. Just do your little tiny part where you can. And when God touches you to help somebody, do it. All right? Thank you so much. I also want to share something with you. You know what I do to lift spirits up also? I go on YouTube and I look at little ministries and see who has very few subscribers or very few comments. And I go to those channels and I leave an inspirational message and I'll say, keep up the good work. You're doing great work for God. Because I want to lift that person's spirit up. That is so important that we don't forget those small little things. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed Christmas. And don't ever forget the purpose for the holiday, right? Why we are celebrating. We're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. Although technically we don't really know when the exact date that he was born, right? It doesn't tell us in the Bible. But we can get a general idea of more or less when he was born. Have a beautiful and blessed Christmas. Please be safe. I'm talking about the coronavirus. Be safe. Do what you have to do to protect yourself and others, right? Wear a mask. Keep your distance from people. Don't party with large crowds. Don't have large gatherings, right? And God willing, 2021, this whole evil that is going on in the world will be lifted up, and we will be able to get back to a normal world. Well, maybe we'll never go back to what it was, but a more different normal. Come back and visit with us. Stay safe, stay blessed, and never, ever forget that God loves you very, very much, all right? Bye-bye, sweetie.